Let's get it.
The following is a presentation of MRE UNO, Division 1.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Might be morning for some of you, might be even evening for some of you here. Welcome along to some good old MRE Uno in the Turbo 32 here, sitting real nice and toasty here. Mac Johnson versus Taco. That is our lineup here for this early afternoon. So, should be a very fun matchup here. Match number 40 across both divisions for a 1v9 matchup. Important phone call. 1 second on questions. Let's type it out. All right. Should be good there. But Mac Johnson, very good record. Taco, both with a very good record as well, though. We'll actually take a quick look at the match preview here. Taking a look. Also forgot before I introduced myself here. Didn't quite introduce myself probably here. DJ Curtis in the house here. G-Man alongside me. Should be a again very fun matchup here. But coming into this matchup preview here, one of a master, one of a rookie, both with an equivalent of a 4-3 record here this current tournament. And the round of 32 record for Mac Johnson, that of 4-3. Taco to that of 1-0 here on Taco. Newer, fresh off the chopping block, though, having a very, very good start so far. But we should be in for a very good time here. Mac Johnson ranked 4th and Taco ranked 8th, both with a pretty good resume on their shoulders here. Taking a look at our schedule here. So right now, obviously in the Turbo 32, again, we've noted the seeding of Max Johnson and Taco. Whoever wins out will face off against Sean Ard or Diego Yepes. Whoever wins that matchup between the 4th and the 5th seed, well, we'll have to wait and see on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. That matchup, again, should also be very, very good indeed. Could be a quick one, could be a slow one. It'll depend on the pace on both opponents here. What are your expectations here, G-Man, coming into this matchup? The CPU does say 4-1 on Mac's end here. It seems relatively one-sided here. In my personal opinion, I don't think that could be the case here tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with the CPU pick on this one here because I mean Taco's had a great start to this season. I mean he's at 4 wins, had a great run in Fairy Tale February, and I'm thinking with that one it's just kind of still like trying to kind of gauge where we're at in the season so far. And I mean Taco did have that 5-0 loss in the regional finals last tournament, so maybe that could be part of what happened with that prediction. But I don't necessarily agree with that. I actually think this is going to be a great match here in terms of the players poll, very highly ranked matchup here. 4v8 on that one. So both players realistically looking at a very good win to pick up on early in the season. So with both players playing to get a potential quad 1 win, probably based off how this season is going to go, at worst quad 2 win. On both sides, I think that's going to be a lot to play for because I believe both these players do have Super League aspirations here, especially with how their seasons have begun. I watched Taco a lot in D2 last season, and for me, I've been very impressed with what he's been able to do so far. I know he's been someone who's been very eager to try and make it to that Final Four. I know that he's made a few regional finals or Elite Eights, and This is coming up short, so especially with how last tournament went, I know he's going to be very motivated to try and make it back there. But gonna have a very tough competitor up against him to do that with Mack, who has also been on a great start so far this season, the best start of his career. For Mack, it's really kind of been a real turnaround for his career overall over the last season and a half, really, as he's just kind of looked like a completely different player since he was able to go on that big run in tournament three. I know we were talking about how he cashed out big with that run back then, but I feel like he's really been able to bring that run with good momentum here overall for future tournaments, as he made the final four in the last one here, and looking very good so far here. Had a very close call though in the opening round with Eric Monaco. Big scare in that one. I'm going to be curious to see how that affects things. And for Mack, it's also been a while since he last played. He was the only player who got a match in prior to the outage that put us on hold for about 2.5 weeks. So it's been a while since he's been on the table last. So I'm going to be curious to see if that could play a slight impact in how this one goes. But this hopefully should be a good matchup here. I've been looking forward to this one of the matches on the overall slate for the Turbo 32. So hoping we get a good one here, and very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, you notion right the temporary shutdown of the bot, right? And the thing you always have to worry about when you return to the game of Uno, right, is the rust factor, right? You could make the slightest bit of mistake. You gotta be very vigilant with how you do your deck manipulation, how you really get those cards set up and set score. And obviously, you gotta believe in the heart of the cards and hope that the card bot actually gives you something real, real good. But you can only do what you can have of it. You just got to make sure you're really careful with your commands with the Unobot and make sure that is compatible with what you need. And, got to maybe do a little bit of quality control, a little bit of QC checks just to make sure that everything is good to go here. I guess the real question I have for Taco here, I know you've only played maybe D1 for a little bit, maybe not like crazy amount compared to a lot of other people here. But the real question I should ask is how is that transition from D2, right, to D1? How has that been for you?
Um, I mean, the transition's been interesting. I would say the biggest change between Division One and Division Two play is, I guess, the closeness of all of my games, barring the Elite Eight matchup, which I will not be discussing. I feel like all of the matches that I've had up to this point have been very close and could have went one way or the other at any point. Which that like consistency of like quality of play of opponent was just like is that's been the biggest adjustment from Division Two, because there was almost like depending, and there's no disrespect against a lot of people in Division Two, but especially last season, there was a couple people who were in there that were I don't want to say like a free win, but they just like they didn't take it very like they didn't take it to like the same level that some of the other people down there did. It was only a few, but like it felt a little bit more like you had a chance to breathe when you're up against an opponent, and maybe it's also just been the fact that I've been the lower seed the majority of my matches, but it feels like there isn't really any of that up here in Division One. Feels like every matchup you're either on point or you're not going to be having a good time.
Yeah, with Division One, right? There's just always so many different, diverse play styles. A lot of people can do number switches. Some could be very aggressive with action card usage. Power play usage is another factor to really put into here. Obviously we've got the one power play that both can use to their disposal. Only one, by the way. So don't get too power hungry early on. But that transition over from D2 to D1, whole different ball game though, closer competition, as nailed that to a T. If you make a mistake, they'll be very quick to pounce on it. Some will still get caught sleeping, but not always. Not a lot of the time. It's very rare though. You just got to be careful. It's a lot of times just being very, very careful. Mac Johnson's still on the phone here. But also in Taco's case, he is the ninth seed, though. So the nice part about being a little bit of a lower seed, I guess would be the right word. Basically, just whatever the higher number is is that you can play a little bit more with house money compared to that of Mac Johnson, who sits as the first seed in this. There's a lot of higher expectations for you. Granted, both are very high up in the echelon here, but considering that Taco is again still new, a little bit more newer to the D1 spectrum, it could be a gargantuan task. But again, CPU says it's very one-sided. I don't Me and G-Man agree that it's not going to be the case.
Quickly type a question out for Mac here since he asked for a type questions on that phone call here. So I'll just get something quick and then we could probably get it rolling after
Yeah,
that.
let's do that. Perfect. But yeah, we're sitting well here. It's already April 28th, so who would have thunk that the month of April has flown by so fast? Living the name of Turbo here, going real quick here, getting closer and closer to the month of May. So, man, time's starting to run out for this month. I never would have thought that, though. You told me that maybe like 2 weeks ago, I would have not believed you. All right, read the question out loud. Mac, been a while since you last played in the league due to the outage, but you're off to a great start this season and have on the table a very high quality win early on this season. Your thoughts heading into this match as you look to shake off the mini break you had and get back on the table against a first time opponent for you.
We'll see what he says here. It might take a second, but once I see him typing, I will get it initialized since I will also be doing ref duties for this one. But
Yeah, both opponents here come in. Obviously you want that Super League ambition. I think most people here in D1 would want that. You definitely want to get a good strong Q1 win early this season, both sitting at 4, but Mac does have that additional DQ win to help out just a tad. Just going to take this series one game at a time and focus on what I can control. I think it's a good mentality to have, right? Just take it one match at a time. I'll let you do the honors here, G-Man. Let them decide what they want to do card-wise.
see what Mac does for game one here. Gonna just keep typing for communication for the moment here, unless we get the green light that he's done with the phone call. But we'll have to see. I mean, obviously, this is not really like a crazy factor, but we'll have to see if maybe this phone call, especially if it's like a close game and and early on, it's gonna require a lot of thought. If that could be something that throws things off a bit, but Mac's gonna start with a 10. That's kind of been a thing. Mac has kind of trademarked a little bit the gift starts here, so
It's a good trademark
been
to
a little
have. I like that.
been a little specialty for him. But we are underway here. Uh, Yeah, I'm just gonna ask her if you could confirm on the stream that the timer is going for
Oh,
the scoreboard.
yeah. Let me switch it over to game. My apologies there too. Thank you for that. Looks like it's good to go. Yeah, sorry about that, man.
Yep, all good.
Yep.
But
Start off
switch
with a
off the
red
start
8.
here.
Yeah, and then over to a yellow 8. So quick color change off the bat here, G-Man. I wonder what's the mentality for that.
I mean, it could be a few things. I mean, the simplest thing is that's not really where he wants to start. Doesn't necessarily be Beck doesn't have red, but maybe he sees a little bit more promise on the yellow, or he can maybe be looking for a light switch here. There's a few different approaches when you go for that switch off the start here. In terms of what he's going for, though, we will be able to see in due time as the game goes on. But Taco is going to cross over right away into green, so. Already one away from a rainbow.
Yep, already doing the traffic lights here. Back over to slowing it down to a yellow 8. So both of them crazy 8 so far here. Stack Johnson at 8, Taco at 9. So, I mean, both are just playing numbers game early on here, waiting to see who will strike first ammunition wise. What action cards do they have at their disposal here? Taco's going to roll along with the yellow, just drop it down 4 to a yellow 4.
Mm.
Just does a ditto right back. How about that?
There's the blue.
Yeah, so we've opened up Pandora's box already, just like that, and didn't take too long. Both playing at a pretty quick pace so far. Will we see anybody really slow down, like come down maybe towards the later games here, G-Man? What do we expect the pace to maybe shorten, or do we expect it to go even faster?
I would honestly say this pace just kind of stays about average throughout this one, as we're getting a lot of switches early on, but that switch is gonna force Taco the draw here, and Mac is gonna open up a bit of a lead here. So able to find something on this one. Mac down to 4, Taco up to 8. We'll see what Taco does here, as he's probably looking to get out of this green here, but will he have any options?
Has to draw. Could be at attack range for Mac Johnson here. He does have a lot of ammunition, at least in the series, compared to have Taco, 15 more ammunition cards, but both drawing at green here at a green 9. So could they be firing up some ammunition later down the run, or could they genuinely be out? Draw City looks like it might be a draw city here, G-Man.
Yeah, early draw city on this one. Both were switching all over the place and running down the numbers early on, but now both are out on this green and have no 9 to switch. Taco is going to I think he had that green reverse for a bit, but he's gonna top deck a green 9, and Max gonna top deck a blue 9 there. I
Got a
was originally gonna
connector.
think I was gonna just keep the draw city going, but Mac able to find something to end it.
Makes you think that it was probably maybe a potential top deck draw there with that blue 9, since they did have to draw the green one for the longest time, at least for that little bit. But how about over to a red?
So that's interesting here because for me, that says that Taco had that for a bit and just decided to hold on to it. I'm going to be curious to see what he was looking for here. Maybe he was not too happy with the hand and wanted something different, and feels maybe feels ready to go, or maybe felt he wasn't getting much and wanted to get something going here. We'll see. But that's an interesting call there because that red 9 he definitely held on to for at least one draw cycle.
Maybe wanted to see if Mac drew more. That's probably the could have been the mentality there, just to see if he drew more cards. So didn't want to maybe jump on too early.
Taco goes back to green, where we just have the draw city now.
I think then he's thinking that if Mac got stalled there, he can just keep it at green. But oh my goodness, +4 with a red 5. Is Taco got anything like even a +2, something to stall this? Because Johnson has one card left, more likely than not red, or maybe just a different number 5. We'll
I
see.
think the good
Go
I
ahead.
think the good thing for Taco there here is because he used that wild, he forced the +4 out, because if he waited another turn, Mac would have been able to +4 finish there. So I think that's honestly this is honestly going to be able to give him an option to respond here, especially if he has something to disrupt things. If he has all numbers, there may be a chance it's just going to be the way it is, but that that wild jump on the green there, I think, is going to give him an opportunity to keep this game going here. But we're just going to have to see what he decides to do.
Could be a light bulb here, right? Because he did switch over from green to red, so that could be an indicator, right, with how limited cards Mac has left, that it's not likely green. The only thing you gotta wonder is if it's a green, unless it's like maybe like a green 5 or something. But I mean, why else switch to red when you got one card left?
Yeah, Taco taking a second to think this one
Yeah, he's
through.
gonna play defense here. I think he's got something to help stall this run. Yellow 5.
Gonna
All right. Real question,
gonna go
does
for the
Mac have an
switch.
answer? He does.
Oh,
Just chose the wrong color. It's
one.
all it took.
Unfortunate one for Taco there. Took a minute to think that one through, and unfortunately does not make the correct decision there. Um, yeah, tough call on that one there. Unfortunately, Taco does not win that 50-50, but we'll have to see if that ends up playing a factor later on. But Mac's going to open up the scoring 1-0 in a interesting game. I mean, had the draw city on the greens there, and then broke free on that. Taco plays the wild, forces Mac to use the +4, and then um unfortunately Taco just makes the fatal switch there on that one, and Mac able to close that one out. Kind of all she wrote on that one, but only question I really have for Taco is kind of what were the other card choices you were thinking of while you were taking a minute to decide on Uno.
It was either red 0 or yellow 5. If I went red 0, I would have skipped into yellow from red. So the turn after. So I'm not sure if it would have made that much of a difference, but it would have kept me alive for just at least one round longer.
Yeah, I don't think
All
I really
right.
got much because I think that was pretty well played. You just if he had maybe a green, I think, but that's just only so much you can do with from that. I would assume you didn't really have much action cards of that either, Taco. Like no wild plus fours or anything like that of the sort. With that
No,
assumption.
no, I had a blue plus two if I could have ever got to it, but
Ah,
it was just
gotcha.
kind of locked out.
Yeah, just only one. Just is that just the only color you had in blue for that, or is it?
Uh, I drew a blue six near the end, but
Gotcha,
I could have only
gotcha.
got that through yellow, so it was always kind of just by itself.
Yeah, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, Mac picked up the +4 during Draw City there, so kind of picked that one up while both were stalled. So
Yeah, the
uh,
card gods giveth, and the card gods taketh. So sometimes you get the luck of the draw. +4 though really helped right at the very end though, using that, and then just had to wait and see if that red was a bluff or not. It ended up being a bluff, and well, Taco fell for the bait, and it just didn't work out well.
go to game two here. We'll see what Mac decides to roll with here as he searches through his gift collection. Gonna go with the Blaney 12.
Good old Ryan Blaney. Action card to start though. Wow, green skip. That's already
We've
one
seen this
skip
a few.
gone. Go ahead.
We've seen this a few times. In general, not even just in this tournament specifically. A, there's been a few ways that people go about this. Sometimes people take advantage of it to get the color switch, and sometimes people just play a number and just kind of it doesn't really matter. I guess in that case, it doesn't really matter because it was a reverse. But Mac is going to open up with a double play on that to kick things off.
Yeah, quick 1-2 punch with a reverse and a green two. While we'll talk and respond back here. Just immediate color switch again. Do you open the floodgates early on? Mac will roll with the blue, so will Taco. 2 to 8 to 4. Will there be another maybe 1-2 punch from Mac himself? No, he will switch back over to green, keeping it two colors. Right now, started off with that green skip. Now we're back over to a green 4 here. So the color change is going relatively crazy early on, but we're keeping it a two card or two color game at the moment. It's a matter of when we see the rest of yellow and red come into fruition. But Taco again rolls numbers game here. I feel that's the a great way to look at it here. When you got a lot of numbers, just get rid of it as much as you can. Find the connectors and just see to it here. Mac rolls it. Green 8. Just all even numbers so far. So far, we've just seen a lot of even numbers. Haven't seen the odds just yet. Green 6 over to green 4. Loving the money we're seeing right now. The grass being complete, really the grass being greener in this case. Oh, we got. Oh, wow! Look at that. Wild to blue here. We're still keeping it two colors here, G-Man. I'm really intrigued by how this is looking. Green 6 over to yellow, so that didn't last too long. So Taco just chose the wrong number, and Mac was right there to pounce on it. So now we've got our third color into play here at a yellow 6. Will you roll with the numbers game still? Look at the table here. 6, both at 6 cards right now. Obviously, it could be 5, depending on what Taco has in store for us. But he's thinking it through right now, thinking of a good old game plan. Both still have power play at their disposal, but I think a lot of the time you want to wait to use that near the very end, near the end of those matches, around like a game 4 or so. But both sitting with 6 cards on the table right now. Taco having to think through, gotta write up some blueprints to find out what he wants to do. Could he do for maybe some action card usage? Could he just stick with numbers? We've seen card runs go as deep as that of 10. That was from, I think, myself yesterday, actually, which is crazy to think about. But more or less, though, you never know with these card runs, too. You could have a god tier hand. And, well, if that's the case, well, I guess you could say is that you're cooked. So, yeah, Taco thinking this through right now. Mac just waiting in the shadows, waiting to see what Taco's got in store. Digging it through. Sometimes when you think like this, you feel like there's a weird feeling that there's going to be a good old card run to the end. And look at that action card usage. Holy guacamole. A crazy run to the finish. Looks like from a yellow +2, green wild +4, over to some reverses, some reverse sweeps, and then another wild +4 over to a red 9. So just a crazy stack. I figure I'll ask you the question, Taco. Was a lot of that just off the draw? I would figure that is from off the draw because that is a crazy hand, my friend.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, I didn't have to draw anything. It was all off. It was all off that initial start.
Yeah, I could tell you had to think that through a little bit here because you're like, oh man, all this just had to make sure you didn't mess it up, right? Because you could only chain that bot for like up to 4 cards, right? So didn't want to end it on a too bad of a note, but man, it looks like you nailed it. I don't think Mac could have done anything too different off of that. Because that you when you get a hand like that, I really don't think you can do much. Generally don't think you could do much. I think G Man's in agreement with that.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a plan A run from Taco there. I mean, when you kind of start the game with 2+4s in a wild on that one, and then you just kind of have that big run there. Unless the opponent really just kind of throws something at you like a +2 or a +4 themselves early on, where that kind of throws things off a little bit. It's really just going to be getting rid of those number cards and then just kind of having that lineup saved. So for Taco, I mean that's a good rebound for him after game one. That's gonna allow him to tie things up going to his homestand. But yeah, there's gonna be cases like that in Uno where it's like you're just kind of along for the ride there. And I think for Mac definitely knows that he just kind of that's just kind of how it is. And yeah, just gotta hope things are either more on his side or more even on the cards that open for the next game. And that's really all you can do in those situations.
Oh, for sure. Red's asking for a log.
Oh, yeah, I should probably do that. All right. Well, Taco has the game 3 call here. Just can't pick 12.
I'll go with 13.
Just keep climbing up here.
And we just keep it relatively high. Is he feeling lucky with that number? Let's find out. Blue 4 to start it off. Both games have been relatively fast paced here. Game one, that of over 5.5 minutes, and game two, short of 4. So we've had a very, very fast set of games between these two. Very fast play styles we've got going on here. Both, I think, have a pretty good indicator of what they want to do. It's just a matter of who gets there first and if that plan A follows accordingly here, just like game twos with Taco here. So playing numbers game right now. Mac Johnson did switch over from that to a yellow card here to yellow 2. Double punch from Mac Johnson with a skip and a 4. Well, we'll talk do right back. Color change over to green. Just goes up 1,
Yeah,
green 5. Go ahead.
both players have kind of been looking for an early switch in these games so far here. Because I mean, we just saw that with Max switching the yellow on his first turn, and then Taco going the green here. So, I mean, in terms of the starting color, we have not really been staying on it for too long so far in this series here. We're gonna have to see if that trend keeps on going as we go along. But just kind of something I've noticed through the first 3 games.
It's a really good observation there, G man. Usually, sometimes, a lot of the time, you kind of, at least for a lot of players, you typically roll with the starting color. And here's some action card usage here. +2 from Mac Johnson over to a red 6. So we're now starting to see some more cards given to Taco here. What will Taco do? He just rolls along with the red 7, but no, really good observation. They've been very aggressive with these color changes early on, but a draw at the red 7 though here, G-Man. Could this be a game changer, or could this be the break Mac needs with that change over to a red 3?
I mean, if Mack keeps strong, this is going to allow Taco to get back in this because Mack had a bit of a lead before that. Mack is taking a second to type though. Maybe has something like a
Could be a
switch or even
run.
like a top deck +4. Uh,
Seems like a
I would be
run.
surprised if this is a run bigger than 4 cards, if that's the case. But
Maybe like a 3 card
um,
run, maybe, or 2.
oh, there it is. Might have been a top deck +4 on that one, but we go in the yellow.
Interesting to use it though, this with, that many cards left. Sitting at 5 cards, Taco with 12. Could that ammunition, could the arms dealer give Taco something good?
And that's the right move from Taka there if you have that, because Mac already drew on that red and made a very aggressive move to get out of there. So I think it's a good call from Taco when he has the
A
option.
power
Oh
play.
man,
Wow.
no, that was a typing mistake. We saw this earlier in the tournament with
Uh-oh.
Pikachu, and we saw this last tournament where Cyan, where this has actually been interesting because we've seen this a lot
Oh, he fat
in
fingered it. You're
D1
right.
with that. So um
Holy,
yeah,
that's big. That's a really costly mistake though. Oh my goodness. You
and
mentioned earlier, right, G-Man, that rust, that factor, that just kicked in right there, man.
I think being on the phone call also is not helping things
A little bit of
either, but I mean,
distractor too, yeah.
again, that's kind of like a thing with this league, especially with it being on Discord. I mean, because they're not like in person placing the cards down; it's just kind of typing the commands, and that is kind of part of the gameplay where you're just kind of making sure you have it all typed out right. I'm surprised though because this is the third time this season we have seen something like that. We didn't see that at all last season. And all three occurrences have been in D1. This has not happened once in D2. So I'm very surprised that this has happened again in D1 here, but we'll have to see how Mac adjusts here. That's definitely not what he wanted to do there, but could rebound here, especially if he gets the game win here. That'll soften the blow a little bit, but yeah, not what Mac wanted there on that one as we continue Draw City.
Yeah, if it comes down to, let's say, a game 7, you'll look back at, maybe, let's say he loses this one, you'll take a look back at that one, be like, oh, if he didn't fat finger it, it could bite him. We'll see. Again, we'll see how the outcome of this series goes, but both of them sitting at a draw, sitting at an impasse right now. Back over to a red 0 here. Johnson still has 8 cards. Taco to that of 13, but Taco draws here. I think he's trying to build something here. Could be building, or gently maybe doesn't have any red. Be very hard to. Switch over to blue. Will this give Taco a well-needed break? We'll just roll numbers game here. Blue 3.
Blue two.
Drops it down 1.
Mac
Yeah.
is uh Mac is gonna have some extra motivation to win this game here.
Over to
But
green.
Taco going to switch the green.
I'm sure Max got some cards here. He's typing a little bit here, so this could be some action cards here. Yep, just two. Two puncher. Green skip. Green 0. Max sitting at 4 to that of Taco's 11. So this could be red zone range for Johnson here. Does Taco have anything to maybe play a little bit of defense here? Or will he just still keep it cool? He draws. Johnson draws.
No green from Mac.
No
He's
green.
that's gonna open the door for Taco to bring this one back here as currently a 6 card difference between the two. Green 8.
Surely there's a connector there. There it is. It feels like when Taco puts a number in, Max right there to quickly just get on, just pounce right on it there with a connector. That green 8 to a blue 8. Could this be what Mac needs? Does he want to stay in blue? Is going to be the real question.
We'll see. Taco taking a second to tie. Big run here. Goes
Whoa.
into green. Goes
Green.
back in the green and really brings things back closer to even here. If Mac draws here, it's likely Taco tying things up. But Mac is typing. May have
I
an
might have
option.
something here.
Could get a switch. I mean, no, he has a
Ooh,
+4
wow.
and he has the finish.
So even that fat finger, it didn't really it just held it back a little bit, but honestly, he got very lucky that that didn't really screw him in this. But you never know with these later games, though. But that +4, great action card usage right at the very end. Johnson comes out on top, though. So very wild set of circumstances, though. That fat finger still kind of stuck out to me. I know he won this game, but that again, I know it's probably beating the dead horse, but ooh, I'm worried about how that will look unless he just, wraps the series up very quickly. I'm really worried, concerned about not having a power play for the rest of this series.
Yeah, we'll say that's going to be a bit of a disadvantage for Mac here, but at the end of the day, it is only one power play on both sides here. So for Taco, um, would only be able to use it in one game. Mac is at the lead 2-1. I mean, if he gets the 3-1, that's going to put more pressure on the Taco. So it's not a terrible spot to be in. It's definitely a disadvantage to not have it, especially when it was used in a way that was not intended at all. But I think there could be worse situations he could be in where he has this situation. So if I kind of worded that all over the place, but yeah, I think in general it's gonna be interesting to see how Mac takes this on the rest of the series, but I don't think he's in a terrible spot, but obviously not ideal. And I think actually on the second draw, based off that, he drew the +4, so got a bit of a break
A
on
lucky
that one.
break there, yeah. I don't have much to say. I think Taco played pretty good in this matchup. Just the ammunition wasn't quite there for him. He could only do so much, and then Mac had that +4 that really helped saved his behind for that. But that's just how it goes. And both playing really high levels right now. Despite the fat finger, Mac still, did a great job of overcoming that adversity for this game. So we'll just see again how the rest of this pans out.
Well, was got the game. I mean, I guess before we keep going, Taco, you were kind of behind most of that game here. Had a big 4 card run to try to bring things even, but then Mac ended it with a 4 card run of his own there. Any other cards you had on that one that could have maybe changed the outcome a little bit there, or were you just kind of running the path that you needed to run in order to find your way to a victory?
Um, I mean, I had one card in yellow, which was once again a +2. So I was trying to figure out a way to get that +2 out of my hand at some point. And when he used the power play, that's when I actually got my first blue. I ended up drawing another two after that. But for a second I was wondering, like, man, is it like is it like the accidental like power play going to be the reason he wins this? It ended up not mattering because of we just never swapped back over to yellow, so I never got to use the card. But for a second, I was wondering, like, man, that might have been like maybe he's playing like 4D chess. Maybe he's just messing with me over here. But yeah, no, I did everything that I wanted to do up to that point. It was just he had better ammo in that round, same way that I did last round. So it's just take advantage of the opportunities you have and just keep playing Uno.
All right, well, you got the game 4 call here. Just can't pick 12 cards. We'll see what you go with. Full send
Full
15.
send. All righty. Still keeping it high up in the cards right now. I'm loving what we're seeing. You get so much ammunition, get so many cards off the bat. You could have a good hand here, but one action card already gone, just like that. A red skip.
Another skip start here. This is the second time this series, so we'll see if that keeps popping up. But Taco going to open this up with just a red one.
Just playing numbers game. That's pretty much, I would say, the good game plan to have at the moment. You just roll what you got. Blue 8 here. Another color switch back over to red. That didn't last
I
too
mean, there was
long.
There was that early switch I was talking about earlier here, but Mac is actually changing things up and wanting to stay on this red. So we'll see if Taco has any left over, if he just didn't have any left. He has a +2 to give to Mac here, as Mac gonna have to pay the price temporarily, but Taco taking the lead with that play.
Yeah, very interesting to use that +2 early on, but red 4. Max just gonna roll. Is he gonna try and drain all the reds? Is gonna be the real question here. Taco's gonna go over to blue. So keeping it two colors right now. Red and blue. Red versus
Second
blue.
attempt to get second attempt to go over to the blue, and this one will be successful here as Mac just gonna roll with the blue for the time being.
Yep, just keep him plopping those numbers down. Back over to red here. Johnson initiates the call over to red. Red 1 at his disposal. And Taco draws. Could there be no red? Does he have no ones as well? Red 3. Is this the break Taco needs? Yes. Green 3 this time.
Only able to get out of that with just one draw there, but that does expose his hand a little bit with no reds there. So we'll have to see how Mac uses that information as we go along this game.
Does a ditto.
Keeping it clean for the moment. Mac taking a second.
Looks like he might have a little card run. Not like a crazy one, but probably maybe 1-2 punch, maybe even a four-hander. Let's see, typing real long here. You know when someone's typing that long, you know they've got something up their wardrobe. Got something ready.
Mhm. He's got 10 cards here, so I would be very stunned if this was a finish, but it's going to be a big run here. And yeah, we see it right there. +2, plus
Oh, got to be
2,
careful with
2 plus
that.
2 is +6.
Got to be careful leaving +2 like that out in the open, because you never know.
Well, still his turn. And wow, he's going to make it a +12 and goes in the blue. That puts
A lot of
Taco at
ammunition.
20 cards.
So that a 4. What do you do if you're Taco? Do you have anything to fight that back? Because that is a lot of ammunition you're given. Real question is, do you have that ammunition that you can really punch right back? Get a good little jab right back.
Taco just gonna take a second to dissect his hand now with 12 additional cards in the mix. So it's gonna definitely change up what he was initially going for here, as half his hand has been
Numbers.
overhauled. I like this because like if you get Mac the draw early on, you can kind of save any of that good ammo you had potentially picked up, and yeah, there it is, Mac draws. So Taco not forced to use any of the potential good cards he was able to pick up for the moment, and able to just kind of
Oh, see, look
run
at
green.
that.
But
Every
you know,
time it feels like Taco chooses a number, Mac just has that connector. The real question would be, would it have been better to just keep drawing, right? At that green 5, would have Mac kept of drawing? The yellow 1. Mac just seems to find the answers. Taco, every time he tries to stay in the color, just Mac has that other number that ties back to what he wants to do. 3 card play, 2 skips, and a green 4. So he will bring it back over to green. Let's see if Johnson draws. He doesn't. He actually has a wild back over to yellow. So I think the game plan for Mac might be just to send it all the way to yellow at the very end. Does Taco have anything to combat that?
I feel like he's gonna do something here. Yeah, I mean, gonna go for the wild into red.
To red. And Mac
Yeah,
draws.
I think in that one, especially with the big card difference and Mac down to 3, you can't really take too many risks on that one there. And Taco gonna go for a safer pick on that one as he looks to continue to close this gap and keep forcing Mac to draw.
Red
Red
4.
4.
I have a feeling Mac's got something to connect with that. Just a red 7. So he's got some red.
Yeah. Top deck
Could be
that
a
one
top
there.
deck, most likely. Yep.
Taco looking for the draw here. We'll get it.
It's looking
And
good. Looking good for that draw, though. He draws too, though.
all right. Double stall out for the moment.
Johnson at 4 to Taco's 13.
Mm. Red
Just
reverse.
as a
So
reverse.
that's another top deck from Mac though. Taco still trying.
Both are stalled out at red. Draw City potentially in the works right now, unless Taco's got something to help out with that. Let's see,
Not in
typing a little
I
bit.
not an ideal spot for Taco to be in at the moment, but he's gonna switch it to blue here.
And Max
Trying to
got an answer.
find trying to find another weak color. Because that's really gonna be the way he's gonna bring this one back.
Just been playing from behind this whole game though, and Max just seems even when he draws one card and Taco chooses a number, Mac just has a connector or that color to follow on with that.
Ditto play. Still looking for the
Just gonna
draw on
try and keep
blue.
it at 2. Does Johnson have a connector? He does. Green 2 this time around.
Not great for Taco here, not what he was hoping to see on that one.
Remember, he tried going back to green a bit ways back. It did stall out Mac out for a little bit, but now you don't even know. At this rate, it's very hard to tell.
Yeah,
And playing
he's
defense
gonna
here. Gotta play defense here. Good call,
I think
in my opinion.
I think he wanted to hold on to that one as long as he could, but I think that was his point where
Had to
you really couldn't
press the
make
button in
any
case
risks
of
on that one.
emergency for
Yeah.
sure.
Mac tries to play the third blue two, does not have it, and will instead play a blue three.
So that means we know he has no blue too then.
Well, no, there's no blue two left in
Yeah, that's
the
true.
deck
That's true.
because
Good
the
point.
whole
Good
thing got
point.
played. So neither has a blue two. But Taco switching to yellow now. He plus forward into blue and only played the blue 8 there. Mac going back into blue wants to explore that one again.
Back over to
Taco says
yellow.
no.
No, you right back.
Taco's like, I'm good. We're gonna roll with yellow here.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Wow.
and that's gonna end it.
It didn't look like it would have mattered because he when he swapped over to yellow, if he just stayed in blue, unless he didn't have, I don't know if he had any of their sevens with that, but because he had a yellow +2 and a blue. Well, actually, no, it probably could have stalled it out a little bit because then he would have had because the blue 4 actually, excuse me. So correction there. If he just maybe stayed at blue, it would have drained the maybe the +2 and the 4, and maybe hope for a bluff, maybe a color change. But I mean, it worked out for Mac at the very end, though.
Yeah, I mean, and that one I think for Taco, I mean, unless he had a +4, I don't really see what the option you would do on that one. Because if you kept it blue, I think Taco was out on blue and he would have had to draw. The only way he would have been able to save that one is if he top decked a +4 or a wild. Uh, other than that, I think it was kind of just Mac kind of rolling in with that one and finding that connection there, which really kind of helped him close that one out. But yeah, 3-1 here. Taco, if you want to just kind of elaborate a little more on that, if you kind of had if that was kind of just the only option you really had, or if you had maybe something else you could have considered.
I mean, at that point, my two options were either go all in on trying to do yellow because that was the only card I had, like that was the only color I had left, or I could just like draw on blue until I tried to find some ammo. But ultimately, with the cards that he had remaining, there was there was no path to victory left unless I did something drastic, like tried to use a power play to stall it. But I didn't think that'd be very smart in that situation.
Yeah, and that makes sense thinking about it, like because you don't want to use that power play. You still got some time left to use it, and that gave me an indicator, right? That means you didn't have any blue left, so you went all in on yellow. Just Mac just beat you to the punch in that way.
Yeah, no, it was. I had. I'm pretty sure it's 6 or 7. Not. Oh my god. It was 7 and or 6 cards remaining. I forgot which one, but they were all of they were all yellow. So It was all in at that point, and it's just unfortunate that I knew he had some yellow left, and I wanted to keep him off it as long as possible. But it is what it is. Just go into game five and do my best to overcome.
It's the right way to think about it. 3-1 though. Mac still leads pretty comfortably though, but we've seen 3-1 leads disintegrate here in MRE UNO. That's the beauty of the game though. You never know what you're gonna get. It's a Pandora's box in of itself. The longest game in this match, 8 minutes, 3 seconds. Last game was 7 minutes and 2 seconds. So just a little bit over the exact mark of those minutes. But been still overall though, very quick paced game despite that. But a lot of them were still at standstills. Will we see anybody use a low card count to begin this matchup? We've seen all of them be relatively high from the tens, double digits basically. We haven't seen anybody use a single digit card count just yet.
Yeah, sure. We'll see how that goes. I'll drop the question for Mac for game five here, but just gonna read quickly what he said. Got a lot of good stuff that game, so I like what I said at the start, just going one game at a time here. Head in my head is 0-0, still not 3-1. So I think that's a good approach to have with that one, because I mean if you're kind of with the mindset whether you're far ahead, you might get a little too comfortable and then things could start slipping away. So I like the idea that Mac still thinks it's all tied up even here. So we'll see what the game five call is. If I had to guess, I think he'll go like 11.
Oh, yeah,
Which
you got it. You nailed it.
I get proven right on that one. So
Call you a psychic, man.
they call me the card knower. So
I thought you said
gonna be an 11
cardinal
card
for a
spread.
moment, and I was like, that's crazy.
No, no. The card knower.
The card
Not
knower.
the cardinal. All right. Well, game five underway here. Red reverse a start, another ammo start, but not a skip this time.
You're getting a lot of action cards to always start off the first card. It's kind of crazy to think about these last like 3 games. It's been the pattern. So kick things off with a double punch. Switch over to yellow quite immediately here. Yellow reverse over to yellow 7. Taco rolls with a yellow 9. Goes up 2. So now Johnson waiting for him to attack. Yellow 5. So getting rid of some yellows early on here. Will we see a color change from Taco himself, or will we still roll along with it here? Colors color change over to blue 5 here. Both
We're
typing, so they're interested. I think both have a pretty good idea of what they want to do here. +2 and a yellow and a blue 8 to follow on suit. Go ahead, G-Man.
Max kind of running plan A so far there, and that +2 is definitely going to help him get closer to that finish here. I feel like Mac in most of these games so far has kind of held the lead here with Taco trying to find a way to bring it back. So we'll see if Taco can find something in this game to flip the script, not narrative, flip the script. But as we speak right now, Mac is just kind of keeps on rolling on the numbers.
Yeah, he's been the primary aggressor in this game. Taco's had to play a lot more defensively and just again, like you said, trying to claw right back from big margins and gaps. And sometimes you can only do so much when you're playing on defense or really just trying to play catch up. Because once they go away, once they have a big lead, it's very hard to come back to unless they just get stuck. It just takes one card to get stuck on to have to completely have your game plan disintegrate in a heartbeat.
Ooh, and a +4 from
Plus
Taco there. That's
four.
going to help him bring it back to about even, but Taco with a slight lead at the moment.
Real question you'll have is what ammunition is given to Mac Johnson as a result of those +4, that +4. Taco playing a lot more aggressive in this one. A yellow 6, they're just going to roll numbers again. So that's all you got to do. Just keep at it. Take it one card at a time. You got to use the action cards you need to, then go for it. Switch over to green. We're going to try and get some good old money here with the green 6. And a ditto right over. Very fast. Trying to drain a lot of green here from a 3 over to a 7. Taco and And Mac pretty dead even 4 to that of 5 on Taco's advantage. Johnson draws at 7. What do you do if you're Taco? Do you keep at it? Do you roll numbers and hope that Johnson doesn't have the connection? Because the pattern here has been whenever Taco has put a number in, Mac always finds that one connection that just seems to help reignite that run and put that to his advantage, though. But that draw could be big. If you're Taco, you could go for a run here, and it looks like based on how long he's typing, that could be the case here. Taco at 4. Johnson with that recent draw, though, sitting at 6. Could this be a run to the finish for this one? Gonna go for a +4 and a red 8.
Second +4 of the game from Taco there on
Yep,
that one.
only 2 more left. And a color swap over to yellow. And he has to draw. That's big. That's big here,
Yeah,
G-Man.
that's not what Taco was looking for on that one there. So
Could be a draw city
that's
potentially. Oh, we got a
no, he
red.
gets another
Wow.
wild.
Holy. What are the odds of that?
Well, get down to at least Uno here, if not the win.
Things could be set in stone here. Taco's looking to maybe try and run it all the way to red, and there it is. So that wild, I'm wondering now, was that a top deck draw? I would assume that is a top deck there, Taco. Just give me a yes or no answer on that.
Yes, sir.
Was a yes indeed. I think me and G-Man figured it was a top deck, but we just had to make sure we were correct on that. Johnson had nothing. I don't think he really could have done much. I think he did a good job with the color switches. It's just that top deck draw was huge. And actually, even the +4s that Taco used, I was actually kind of surprised Mac didn't get any kind of action cards off of that. Or maybe if he did, they just weren't there to connect.
Maybe. I mean, I think the moment that Taco was able to get that top deck wild off the top there, I think Mac felt like it was kind of curtains on this game. That's a big top deck though for Taco because that could be a good momentum swing here because Mac had won the prior 2 games here, was on match point, but Taco able to get one back and has to call for game 6 here, so has a bit of control on what we do here. So this is a decent spot for Taco to be in because he's in a position where he has the control to try to force this game 7 here, and he still has the power play also, so that could be something that comes into play also in this game or the next if he decides to hold on to it. But should be an interesting one here as could be looking at another close. Could be looking at another close match here in another game 7 if Taco's able to pull off the game 6 one.
Yeah, it's gonna get nuts. This is a nuts game we've got so far. CPU's definitely wrong. I'll tell you that, G-Man.
Is Taco going for 5 on that one? I see the 5 on
I
the
think that's a
crown.
5. Yep. No,
No send.
send
All
it.
right, so
No, send
we
it.
get
Yeah,
our
yeah.
we get our first single digit start, and it's the
There's a
lowest
low
of them
card
all.
one. There it is. Can you imagine getting a 5 card, like a really good deck with 5 cards here?
It's happened before. We've seen once or twice someone get a 1 turn finish on the 5 card start, but for Taco, I kind of like this call here with the power play. I think Taco has a little bit more wiggle room here, but obviously, always running the no send is risky. So we'll see how this one goes.
I like the bravery out of him. I really do. Sitting at 4, draws at the yellow. Does Mac have a yellow? No, he does. Ubad.
Yeah, yeah, both have
Both stalled at
one
yellow.
yellow and
Yeah.
no more.
Top deck.
Ooh, okay,
I think both were top deck.
also top deck.
And draws again.
Does Taco get the switch? No, he
Nope.
does not. All right, so
Here's a color
well,
switch.
there's
That
the
might
switch.
change things. Has an answer
Well,
for it. Both still sitting pretty dead even right now. Just stalemate at the moment.
I think there's a non-zero chance both players just got all numbers on their start.
I
So,
think that could be the case. Johnson, though, has an answer for green here, but he does draw quite immediately right as I say that. So I think you could be right. I think we would have seen some action card usage by now, or there could be waiting, or they just again they're there, but they're not there for connection. Could be just like you have like that 1+2 that Tacos alluded to a lot in his preceding games. Or you could have a reverse or just one
Mhm.
skip, just kind of isolated in their own little island.
Taco took a second on that draw there. I thought he was gonna have something, but no, he's gonna just keep on drawing.
Could have a draw city here.
Yeah, and this no send looks to be kind of negated early on. Although Mac is kind of getting these top decks at
Color
points where
switch
he's
could
able to
help
kind
Mac
of
here.
stay low. Because Mac's only at 4 cards, so he's been able to stay low despite the draw city.
Mac's got oh wow.
Ooh,
Double play. +2 and a 2. Does Taco of anything to counterattack?
we'll see. He's at 9 cards, so has a few in his hand. Gonna just roll
Rolls
with
a
blue
number.
here. Has the confidence in the blue.
Oh, he's got a car. Oh, it's an Uno here. Do
Well,
you
what does Taco do
Is it a
now?
bluff? Is it a bluff? Does Mac have blue left? Does
Saw
Taco have
game one.
anything?
We
What do
saw
you
this could be a
do?
50-50 again here. We saw
Very
game
risky.
one end in the wrong decision here. This ends up being another 50-50 here. We'll see if Taco is able to make the right call.
Goes
He's gonna go for the
green. Oh, here we
green.
go. This is the moment of truth. Here does Johnson have? No, he does not. Good decision from Taco. That is big.
I
Oh,
think that
wow.
was the right call there
That's a good
because I
call.
think you're pretty locked in that there's no green because Max had a green too, and then as a top deck, and then Taco switched off the blue there, so green felt pretty guaranteed that there'd be nothing there. So that was the safest option for Taco there, and going to keep himself alive for the moment. But both drawing on this green here as nobody has anything at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. Good decision there. Forces them into a draw city right now. We'll see who puts it there. Oh, that's a draw. Yep, there we go. So now we get yeah, they're still gonna keep drawing here at the wild. Just gonna now build up some ammunition here.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Taco is just not really able to find the connections right now. Because I mean he's up to 13 cards here, and it just really seems like he hasn't been able to kind of get much going here. I mean, this wild ultimately plays more defensively. But neither player has played a green at all here. It's just been stuck on this green wild. So been seeing this for quite a bit here. We'll see if someone plays a green card or if they decide to switch it. And there's the green card that opens things up a little bit, gonna be the green one.
Think with the mentality of that, right? Because Max drawing at Green Tacos, thinking, well, I'm just gonna keep drawing because if he keeps drawing, I'm gonna keep drawing. So because he'll have more cards he has to worry about. So color switch over to yellow here. Has that connection with that number one.
Yep. Taco with the 0. Feels like he might want to roll with this yellow for a bit here. We'll see what
Yeah, I
Mac
think that
does.
might be the
Mac with a
move.
blue.
Plus twos
Ooh,
though, doing a couple 1-2 punches from Mac Johnson. Johnson doing a lot of those this series so far. Those plus twos and twos, but it seems like the ammunition given to Taco never has been the best. So we'll see what he's got because of that plus two. A lot of 1-2 punches from Mac though. I've noticed that a lot. Switch over to the colors, but the connectors have been the big variable that's helped Mac Johnson a lot in this series. Is that whenever Taco, again, I've said it so many times, but I'll say it again. Whenever he's swapped numbers, Mac just seems to have the right numbers, has probably a lot of numbers that he can be very versatile with in terms of making those connections. So it does expand the deck a little bit, but it's just a matter of if those guys, your opponent has that number that you can help connect with. And holy cow,
oh,
to end that, crazy to have +4, switch over to red, 2 skips, and a red 5. Taco really could not do much, I don't think, out of that. Um, I suppose, obviously, I think that would come from the top, the uh, the draw city with that +4 and those skips. I would think, correct? Because that's what I'm feeling. That's what it's from.
I would, I would, I would think so. I mean, looking at Taco's hand, I mean, see if some reverses here and there, but not
Didn't
really
have any
much he
plus
was going
twos or
for
plus
there. I mean,
fours.
yeah, he took the risk on the no send there, and unfortunately, I don't think the initial draw was really in his favor, and I think the draw city was not helping him out much either there. So, unfortunately, kind of just along for the ride on that one. But yeah, for Taco, I think it was okay, a solidly played series. I think game one, definitely gonna wish he could have had that one back, but I think for Taco, did a pretty good job, especially in games two and five. Game five, able to pull that one off there, but definitely gonna be a little disappointed by the outcome. But I'm also looking at the cards here, 9-2 on the plus twos. There's a big difference on that one. I feel like that played a factor in how this one went, but um. Yeah, it's kind of how that one goes sometimes. I guess Taco, just kind of any thoughts from the series overall here as we wrap things up.
I don't really know. Um, I I- I'm fine with the loss. I mean, obviously Mac Johnson, he's he's good. Like, he's a good opponent. It was always going to be an uphill battle for me going against the one seed, but I wish I had a situation where I felt comfortable using the power play in. I wanted to have some way where I could have like connected it, if not like into a victory, then into something where I felt comfortable. I was either preventing him from winning or giving myself a possible setup to get into like a closing drive, and it just never came to fruition. So if I could do anything differently, I mean, I don't know what I could have done differently when it comes to setting up a, a victory in that situation. I guess I just wish I had a situation where I could have used power play, but otherwise, I mean, I'm pretty happy with how I played. I just think I just think ultimately, a part of this game is luck, and he got pretty lucky on the plus twos. I got pretty lucky on the wilds in comparison, but not on wild plus fours, but just regular wilds. And I don't know, it was a fun match. With all due respect to him, I think he's a great player. GG, well played.
Hey, you got one more match for this tournament here. You'll face the whoever loses the match between Ard Yepes. Any thoughts on that potential matchup here for either player?
Um, Not really. No, I haven't been paying attention to the revive category. I've been trying to just kind of I've been kind of like trying to will my power into staying on the winner bracket for a little bit, but if it's gonna be a fun matchup with either of them, I'm not sure how much it'll matter in the grand scheme of things, but and more Uno, and I'm never gonna say no to it. So I'll be happy to face whoever I end up facing at that point.
Yeah, pretty good
Yeah, thank
mentality
you.
to have, I'd say. Really good optimism though. Played really good. Like you said, I don't think you really could have done much there. Man. Okay, you can go ahead because you typed the question, G man, so I'll let you speak to it.
All right. Just kind of getting Mac's thoughts here. His thoughts going into the next match as he plays a winner of Ardupez for him. Either one is going to be a big challenge, so a lot to clean up, especially with that misplayed power play. So that's going to be the simple one for that one. And then for Mac, after that one ended, said GG's, that was for KT in the KT Classic. I'm guessing referring to the play Taco did earlier in Game 6. But yeah, that's I think that will do it.
Yeah, so whoever, obviously, with Johnson winning, that puts him, whoever faces off against the winner of Shot Art or Diego Yepes here. So that 4 and 5 seed, that should be a good matchup here. G man, what are your expectations? Like, I haven't really seen Yepes play in a hot minute. I've played Art, obviously. So what do you expect coming out of that upcoming matchup on Thursday, like later this week, dude? What do we think? What are we thinking here?
Oh man, I don't know. I honestly think that one could be a bit of a rivalry game because Art and Yepes have gone back and forth from time to time here, but I think that should be a good one. I think the Heat in that one can transfer to a pretty good match on the table. Short is streaming that one on
Yep, says
Thursday.
Thursday
Yeah,
at
Thursday.
7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that should be a barn burner for anybody that's available for that time. So hopefully you guys don't miss out on what could be a good old classic matchup between Ard and Yepes. So that could be very spicy indeed. Any final words there, G-Man, before we tune out here for tonight?
Yeah, Max just kind of been really rolling so far, and honestly, I'm looking at the rest of this field. I think besides Mark, Mack is definitely a guy to beat here, um, this season. And I mean, we talked about coming into the season the concerns about the Super League runner-up curse. I think he has very much thrashed that trend into oblivion. So I don't even think that's going to be much of a concern moving forward. As he's already up to 5 wins. And as for Taco here, I mean, definitely going to be a disappointing result here, but I still think he's off to a great start this season, and I do expect him to be contending for a Super League spot here as the season goes along here. As he's been really impressive early on, and we'll see what he's able to do as the season goes along. But Taco, along with a few other rookies, I think have been doing a pretty good job, and I do think you're going to see quite a few of them in that. In at least the top 25, but definitely a few in the top 16 for that final Super League reveal come probably September, if I had to guess.
Yeah, they've come to dress to impress, and Taco off to a great start despite losing out to Mac Johnson, putting 2 on him. Still a really good stat to have. It's really good to have considering, the strength of difficulty, right? Taco had beaten Austin Rogers at a 4-3. Mac had beaten Eric Monaco to that, also in a 4-3 matchup, though. But this one was a little bit more Mac Johnson's end, though. Very competitive match, though I think the stats say otherwise, but I think both played good despite even the fat finger. It didn't really matter for Johnson. Got to clean that up, obviously, but yeah, what a match we had at hand to all the way that to what a game 6, correct? So pretty darn good matchup, I'd say. So otherwise though, we hope you guys all have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. If you're not here for the rest of the week, we hope you enjoy the rest of your week here. But again, on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, you have the matchup between Sean Ard and Diego Yepes. So be sure to tune in on that on MRE UNO. Thank you all for watching. I'm DJ Curtis, and alongside G-Man, special thanks to you, especially for giving me all the stats and such before the matchup and getting everything set up, such as the graphics. Really short did that too, but getting the scoreboard updated before the matchup too. So much love to you for that. I really do appreciate that, and especially being my co-commentator for today. But otherwise though, you guys have a wonderful day. Stay excellent. Don't do anything too crazy, and enjoy your Tuesday.
This has been a presentation of MRE UNO Division 1.